So welcome everyone to the JB Media Institute Digital Drop-In. I'm so glad you are all here. And today we're going to be discussing one of my very favorite topics, which is YouTube. As most of you know, I started out a search engine optimization expert. And so one of the things that I started to learn about right away was YouTube and how it was connected to the Google search engine. And I think it's a really interesting website to talk about because it has different facets to it than I think other social media sites do. So for those of you who are new to the Digital Drop-In, I want to just encourage you as we go through. I will be monitoring the chat. I will also be monitoring the Q&A. So if you have questions as we go along, don't hesitate to ask them. I will hopefully have some time at the end as well, but you can feel free to ask as we go along. Also, I am recording this today, and you will get a copy of the recording as well as the slide deck. That should be sent out in the next day or two. And so you can share this information with others that you're working with, share it with your friends and colleagues if it's helpful to them, and please invite them to join us for future digital drop-ins. For those of you, again, who don't know me as well, my name is Sarah Benoit. I'm the co-founder and lead instructor of the JB Media Institute. And I also own a small web design and consulting firm called Creative Original. And I've been doing search engine optimization, social media marketing, digital advertising, and a lot of other types of online communications since 2003. And I've been teaching since 2006. So like I said, this topic is one of my passions. The other thing that I want to let all of you know is we are launching this year a new class series. So every month when we do our digital drop-ins, you can come and join me for an hour for free. But if you'd like to dig into the topic more deeply and actually build skills, we'll be running a class that goes with our topic at the end of every month. So for March, again, YouTube is our focus. We'll have a class called How to Expand Your Reach and Engagement with YouTube on March 31st. It's 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, and it's $49 for the next about 10 days. So anybody who's interested in attending, I have a great guest that's going to be joining me. Basically, David Gwaltney, who is a videographer, a filmmaker, a musician, and also a Google advertising specialist. So anyway, he's a great person. Him and I did improv together for a long time, and I just think everybody will be really fascinated to hear him share what he's learned by building his own YouTube channels and getting them to a place of monetization. So please consider joining us, and we'll make sure that this link is also in the slide deck and the recording email that we send in the next couple of days. So the first thing I want to talk about is just YouTube and its place in the world, right? Like I said, YouTube is really unique, mainly because it is both a search engine and a social media platform. And it's not only both of those things, it's done extremely well as both of those things. So in the social media world, you can see on the left, YouTube is one of the only websites that can rival Facebook. And of course, we know Facebook owned by Meta and Google owns YouTube. Meta and Google are sort of always vying for who's at the top of the giant tech pyramid. And so YouTube as a social site has really become a phenomenon. A lot of younger people love to use YouTube to follow different influencers, to be a part of different communities. But also YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the largest search engine in the world. So if we look at the most visited websites that exist, we can see Google is number one and YouTube is number two. So that's where not only do you have this social phenomenon where you can build a following, but you also have millions upon millions of people that are just searching YouTube and searching Google search, which is connected to YouTube, to find out information about different topics, products, brands, industries. They're trying to answer questions. They're trying to build skills. So we really have two opportunities on YouTube to take an SEO approach, to take a social media approach, or to do both. You can see if we look at the number of hours streamed by YouTube users, the amount of hours streamed every minute on YouTube is 694,000. So That's a pretty powerful number in my mind. And you can also see that when we look at users of YouTube, about 62% of them are accessing YouTube daily. I'm in that pile. I don't have a TV, so I watch YouTube quite a bit to keep up with news and things like that. But if we look at the weekly and monthly numbers, what we see is 92, 98%. So a very, very large percentage of people that are using YouTube use it every day and every week. So again, why YouTube? It's the #1 video platform. So out of all the platforms that were built for video, it ranks at the top. It's the second most visited website in the world, as we saw, and it's the second largest search engine in the world. So this power that YouTube has to bring so many different types of people together, it makes it really, really unique. And the other thing that makes it unique is that because of that combination of search engine and social media, unlike other social media where things that are older tend to time decay and sort of disappear in the news feeds, the way that YouTube works is if you have a video that's been around for 5 years or 10 years and it's still performing really well, you're going to see that that video continues to drive traffic and interest. So Social Media Examiner says YouTube isn't a content feed, it's a content library, which makes it a lot more powerful than some of the other sites. And YouTube can give you the opportunity to rank better in searches, to educate and or entertain people, to establish what Google calls your EAT, your expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. It can create content that'll be out there and able to be viewed for years to come. And it has the ability to build a tribe or a network. So when you are on YouTube, any of these goals can be part of your plan and what you want to achieve. And when we think about success on YouTube, there's a few different ways that this plays out based on the fact that the tool can be used in so many different ways. So it can be entertainment channels like music and film and shows and things like that. You can have personal brand channels like influencers, hobbyists, artists, and experts. And then, of course, there's a ton of educational channels, news, how-tos, online learning, different types of skills that can be built across all industries. So from a brand and business perspective, we really have a lot of opportunities to get as creative as we want and to give our YouTube a purpose that matches our mission and vision. When it comes to YouTube, it's important to understand the unique algorithm that is inside of YouTube. Yes, YouTube is connected to Google search. So when you search things on Google, you'll see that YouTube results pop up quite often in part of their video results. And those video results are kind of a separate vertical inside the larger Google search engine. But the YouTube site itself also has its own search engine, artificial intelligence built in, right? So essentially what we want to understand is that the way that videos are seen happens in different places throughout YouTube, just like Google or Facebook. And those different sort of verticals that are in the search or in the feeds actually have different rules that apply to them, right? So some of your videos are dripping out to your subscribers. So people who subscribe get this sort of drip of content as you update your channel. And then those first sort of batch of subscribers that they hit based on how they respond, they'll then drip it out to more of your subscribers. And then eventually, hopefully, if the subscribers engage enough, it'll start to drip out to non-subscribers. So like other social media, your current network of fans is really important because they're the pathway to having new people see you, right? So if your subscribers don't care about what you're saying and your content, then people who aren't subscribed are probably not going to see the content. And YouTube's goal, of course, is the same as all platforms. They want to keep people in the algorithm, right? They want to keep them in the feed, interacting. They want to keep the users on their platform. And so YouTube pays close attention to when somebody starts their session and when the session ends. And so one of the things that you can really do to help boost a lot of your YouTube activity and expand into the algorithms is if you have an email list and social media, you want to really share those YouTube links, remind people that you have the YouTube channel, remind them of how it's being used. A lot of time, what you're publishing on your YouTube channel can go right together with your email list, and they can sort of nurture each other in a big way. And the more engagement that you drive, especially people who watch the video for longer periods of time, you will actually see that you rise up in some of the algorithms on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm is really like Google, focused on relevant, personalized results. And like I said, there's different sections of YouTube. There's the regular search, there's the home that you land on, especially when you're on your mobile app. There's suggested videos, there's trending videos, and then there's an area where the things that you've subscribed to are pushing out content as they update their channels. So these are kind of 5 areas where the algorithm is slightly different, right? There's different ranking factors that are involved. And so all of these places in my mind are opportunities to show up to people. And they're really prioritizing engagement over just views and clicks. So they really want to see people subscribing. They want to see people commenting. They want to see people commenting on comments. And I know YouTube comments can be a whole scary world. And that is true. And depending on your subject and your goals, I often suggest that if you're using YouTube for SEO purposes, for educational purposes, then we can actually turn off the comments quite a bit. But if you're looking to build a following and build a tribe, build a network, then that's when I think that commenting is going to be really, really important. So this is where we see YouTube has really developed its approach towards creators, not just brands and businesses. So if you're an artist, if you're somebody who really wants to put yourself out there and build a circle of fans around you, that's sort of one approach, as opposed to really using the search engine part as your main approach. So really think about, what are the different ways that you want to use this tool before you start marketing. So if we just look at the different sections, we have the search area. Like I said, this is where keywords and relevance are extremely important. So we're going to talk about keywords, but to me, when people use the search bar to look for things, or they're using google.com to look for things, this is where the keyword topics that are associated with your videos can help you really expand the attention you're getting. And again, just some of the ranking factors that YouTube is looking at are the click-through rate. So are they clicking on links in the description? Are they clicking over to the channel? Watch time, how many videos the person has watched previously on your channel, how recently the person engaged with video content about similar topics, what the person is searching for historically and how it relates to those topics, previously watched videos, and the location and demographics of the person. So again, this is just a short list of things, but in these buckets are actually even more specific details that help decide what videos show up at the top of what sections and to whom they show up at the top for. So there's some real benefits to YouTube. Like I said, we've already talked about why YouTube is unique. But again, I think as the second largest search engine in the world, if you're doing SEO and you're doing video content, it's really key to pull those strategies together into a cohesive strategy. This is going to allow you to really expand, like I said, not just your exposure in the YouTube search, but also in Google search. And then the great thing about YouTube is, unlike Facebook, I don't really have to subscribe or be logged in to watch some of the content. So there's a lot of ways that people don't have to join YouTube, but they can still get exposed to embedded videos on your website. They can still get exposed on other websites to videos that are being shared. And so it does open up the market in a different way. It doesn't kind of corner people into signing up and creating an account the way that things like Facebook do sometimes, or Instagram, for instance. In the world of social relationships, like I said, we're going to see that over 70% of US adults are using YouTube, and over 80% of people that are in younger target audiences are using YouTube. So from a social media perspective, you're able to hit quite a broad range of different types of people, similar to the way you can on Facebook. And YouTube really surpasses Facebook by a little bit. So that's, like I said, kind of a big deal because no one else typically does that. WhatsApp is up there, Instagram is getting up there, but Facebook and YouTube have been neck and neck for quite a while. People can create user profiles, they can subscribe to channels, they can comment and like, they can add your videos to their playlists. So socially, there's a whole bunch of activities that people can be involved in. And video content historically is really better at creating personal and emotional connections. And for those of you who have heard me speak before, you know that I think the emotional piece of what we're doing is really, really important when we're doing marketing. We want to be authentic, we want to be real, we want to bring something of value, and we want to have an emotional impact on people that is really positive, useful, helpful, good for them in as many ways as possible. Also, YouTube can help your website in some ways by making video easier to access. So I'm a big fan of putting all the videos that we post on a website onto YouTube and using the links so that they are easy to add to the website. And for me, this allows us to have pages that still load pretty fast on a website without having to upload a full MP4 or MOV file. We just share the YouTube link. And then YouTube is taking the brunt of sort of the weight of the video content when it comes to load time on the server. And they have a very big server and a very fast server. So videos are always going to load faster on YouTube than they do on our own servers that we have that we're paying money for. Hopefully videos, as you add them to your website, are keeping people on the page more. Videos can also really help from an accessibility standpoint, which if you're captioning your videos, which hopefully all of us are slowly getting to that point. I know there's a lot of things involved in figuring that out, but captions are really helpful in the world of video now. And so if you can add captions and have videos on pages that complement the written text, you create something that people who have vision issues can listen to. If you have captions, it allows people with hearing loss to also be able to interact with the video content. A lot of people can be drawn to that. It can even just help people who are more visual learners to understand your message and have a better experience. So as we think about YouTube, there's a number of pro tips I want to share. First is to make sure that you've branded your channel. So on YouTube, there are sort of personal channels and business channels. And a lot of times when you're creating your channel, it's when it asks you that question. So I often push people into the branded channel so that you can make channel art and match the colors and the look to your website. It's going to give you more ability to speak as a brand. That was a question we had in the chat earlier about naming the channel. You should be able to name your channel anything related to your brand name. You even should be able to edit it in the settings typically. And so you can really take your channel and really make it about your business. You can actually put in information, your website link. You can promote your channel on other platforms like social media, email marketing, your blog, things like that. And really this comes down to developing useful content strategies for your brand so that you can be in different ways, possibly attracting people who are searching for different things, as well as building a fan base for your particular brand. So think about how you can use those brand options. Sarah, I see your question about, can you help with changing your URL to include your business name? Again, I'd have to look at that. We could maybe, if you are here to the end, I can possibly look at my channel and try to find that setting. I believe the usernames and the URL are actually connected and it's all in the settings, but they are changing things all the time. And I probably haven't looked at that in a few months. So if you're able to stay until the end, I'm glad to pull that up and to confirm the answer to that question. The next thing is you need to put your audiences first. So again, anytime we're doing any type of digital marketing, we should be really thinking about the people we want to serve. So who are the videos for? Let's talk directly to them. Why do they need the content? How do you want them to feel? What do you think is going to be entertaining or useful for them? And once they're watching the video, what do you want them to do? So you have to get clear with that so that they're clear with that, right? So keyword research, most of you probably think of keyword research as something we do for search engine optimization. And that is the primary reason that I started doing keyword research. But I also do research for video strategy. And this is where, because of the nature of YouTube as a search engine, I really want to understand when it comes to our products, our services, our content topics, all the different things that we want to talk about, our causes. I really want to understand, how are people looking for those things? What are the questions that they're asking? What is it that they need or want? What can I learn from this research? And really, I'll see that I can find ideas for long and short form content, and I'll be able to think about the shared values that we have with our audiences, the problems that they want to solve. And really, as I mentioned before, think about how I can show up and serve them first. The other thing that I can do when I'm doing keyword research is then actually take some of the phrases and questions and topics I've found and actually plug them into YouTube. And then I can see who else has been making video content like this. Are they really popular, really big companies? Do they already have millions of views and hundreds of thousands of followers? If so, those topics, I might not be able to compete for those topics. But if I can find topics where there isn't really a big sort of huge company or huge organization or large account that's kind of dominating those topics, then I know I have an opportunity to start creating content that's unique, that hasn't quite been created before. And then I'm going to compete a little bit more strongly in the algorithms. Once you've done keyword research, you really want to write great titles and descriptions for your videos. So always utilize this space. It's the number one way that you're going to get found more often. And so to me, like I said, that keyword research is listening to your customers. What do they need? What do they want? Come up with really clear titles that match. Not exactly, they don't have to exact match. Google's smart enough to know when phrases are similar, but we want to make sure that the titles are really communicating what it is that we're talking about, especially if it's a searchable topic that people might be typing in. And you might find different synonyms related to your topics, different ways of talking about it. And so your description becomes a place to expand the conversation to a paragraph to 3 paragraphs at most, and to really pepper in some additional keyword phrases and terms. Also in your descriptions, I suggest that you link to your website, to relevant pages of your website that are about similar topics. And if you don't have a website, then consider linking over to your other social media sites. But I usually put 1 to 3 links in every YouTube description. So keyword research, if you haven't done it before, really it's the process of imagining what your visitor, your customer, your client, what they would search for, how they'd be looking for things. So it's about standing in their shoes. And you might look for product and service terms and research those first. But as you move along, you might discover that there's certain geographical things that you want to research, industry things that you want to research, or even, like I said, just values-based terms or questions you want to research, or problem-solving type questions that you want to research, or phrases you want to research. So as you dig into keyword research, it's this process of kind of just hunting for ideas. You want to have fun with it. And Alicia, I see your question about how important are hashtags in the description. So hashtags can be very valuable on YouTube. I suggest doing something similar with hashtags, which is researching them. Once you have keyword research and you've come up with topic ideas, then doing hashtag research that actually matches the topics, so that if you want to include those in the description, and usually there's also a place for tags and things like that in the settings of the video. And so you want to sort of repeat similar terminologies throughout those different areas. Hashtags on YouTube, I think, are important, especially when you're doing the social aspect of it, because they're so popular, especially with the younger markets. But I think really the keyword research is the more core component for me. That has more direct effect on how the different topics are really found in the search engine than just the hashtags do. So I would prioritize this part of it over hashtags if I had a limited amount of time and resources. So again, you're going to find lots of variations and synonyms. So don't be afraid to mix it up when you're talking about a subject and use the different variations. And then, like I said, as you're having ideas about things, continue to do more research. So you might even do research over months and months, kind of phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each phase you're researching a different product category or a different type of service or a different geographical region, right? So think of keyword research as something that you can keep building on. You don't have to do it all at once, because you want to have the time to really think it through, come up with ideas and research those ideas, and then narrow it down to the topics that are being searched, but also the topics that you're most excited about and that are most relevant to your particular audiences right now. So you might come up with 50 different topics, but then you're going to have to prioritize every month what it is that you want to spend your time on. So don't be afraid to prioritize topics. These are some of my favorite keyword research tools. So I definitely suggest using one of these to play around with things. My favorite is the Moz.com Keyword Explorer. And I'll give you a little tip. If you go there to Moz, You don't need to do their free trial to use this tool. You can actually just click on login. And then at the bottom of that box, it'll say create an account. You click that and you can create a free account. And then you can do a certain amount of research every month, basically for free. So there's a free trial or free account that you can have, or a 30-day trial. And you really want the free account, unless you want to, take a free month and then, keep paying, or potentially end your subscription after that first month so you don't get charged. But all of these tools are really interesting, will help you get an idea of what people are searching for, help you really listen to them. And Sarah, I see your question. If we have a video that has been posted a long time, can you go back in and add these things? Absolutely. Just edit the video. You'll have access to all of this, and you might even see your video do better once you make some of these changes. So, and remember, just for the record, don't keyword stuff things that aren't relevant. So don't put something in the title or description that doesn't accurately describe what the video is about. So Google considers that a big no-no. So we don't stuff things. If we've already got content up there, some of them might be easier to keyword optimize than others. So don't try to force something that's just not going to be as easy to optimize. But if something is about your products, your services, different topics you think your potential clients and customers are searching for, those are the opportunities. Also, if you just want to do your own research without a tool, you can actually use the YouTube search and the Google search to just type in different topics that you think people are searching for. And then you'll be given all these different variations and more specific versions. And so for people who just don't have time right now to learn a new tool and dig in, sometimes they're just generating ideas by typing directly into Google and YouTube, and then putting all of these different sort of phrases and terminologies into a document that they can refer to later. Now, we can't really see what's more popular or less popular in a list like this, but we can assume Google wouldn't be pulling these up if they weren't being searched by a certain amount of people. The positive of a tool like Moz.com's Keyword Explorer is that you're actually going to get to see on a monthly basis, on average, how many times a particular phrase or topic is searched. So that allows you to prioritize in a different way. And again, you just see the examples. When I type in benefits of massage, it's going to give me all of these different, more specific things that people actually ask and type in. So we really want to think about video content on YouTube being very specific rather than general or broad. Typically, we're going to get found in the search engines much faster when we're targeting really specific audiences. And then Amanda, I see your question. Do words and text overlays factor into keyword search engine strength? Does this get picked up in the algorithms? So unfortunately, no. Anything that's in the video, which is what I assume you're talking about, is not able to be indexed by a Google bot. It's as if you created a photo with text on top. The Google bot cannot read that because it is not coded as text. Same thing with a video. What's inside the video, the MP4 or the MOV file, is not coded to be read as text. So nothing inside of video content is going to be able to be indexed or count towards your authority in any way. It's the title and description. Now, that's not to say Google is not going to get smart enough, it's AI in the future, to actually watch videos and then understand what's in the video content. But right now, that's not where we're at. Although we're not far off, just so everybody knows. So YouTube Studio is what you use on your computer or on your phone or your tablet to actually really build your channel, upload your content, and sort of really get good at using YouTube. So over the last couple of years, they launched a new version. So I find it actually more user-friendly. It's got amazing free analytics inside. Like I said, the app on your phone is super easy to use. So if you want to shoot with your iPhone or your Droid, if you want to get a tripod and a ring light and an external mic, you can create your own mini studio using your phone, and you can be automatically uploading and producing video into YouTube. And there's also live streaming available through YouTube as well, and that works on mobile devices. So again, because of the world of creators and influencers, they're really making it easy to produce your own content and to produce pretty cool content that looks great, even when you're using a smartphone. So this is just some screenshots of the YouTube studio that I see on my desktop. This would obviously be different if you were on your phone, but if you're on your desktop, you want to just dig into this menu on the left. And you can see you have the create button, you have the live button. This is the dashboard. So it gives you sort of snapshots of what's going on in your channel. And so you really want to click around and get familiar with everything inside of that channel. And the great thing is, if you're really interested in digging into this, especially from the creator side, they have a great website. Hopefully you all can see the website. Let me know if you can't. But essentially, there's a great website introducing all the different things that YouTube is doing. And they give you a lot of great ways to understand their particular tool, their policies, monetization. We don't have enough time in an hour to cover all of this. So I wanted you to have access to the YouTube creators website. There's also a wonderful creators channel, and that creators channel is full of content that you can basically have access to for free to really up your game here. So even though this was sort of built for influencers, I still think it deeply benefits brands to really look at the tools that are available and just understand all the different opportunities you have, long and short form, right? To really create amazing content in so many ways. So again, continuing with some pro tips. So what is your channel's purpose? I saw a lot of you in the chat shared your channels. So amazing. Like I said, I can't wait to look at all of them and subscribe to a bunch of them. Really, I think you're never done with the work of asking what the purpose is, right? What do you want the channel to do? What are your goals? What are the most important calls to action? Are you saying it? Are you putting it in the descriptions? Are you adding it at the end of your videos with the end cards? What's the flow between all of your different channels? Are they all driving people back to the website? If you've just built a channel or you've been using one for a while and you want some opinions, ask the people around you that you trust for feedback about what they think about it. How does it look? What do the thumbnails look like? Do they like the content? Right? And when you need help, ask. There's a whole community of people using YouTube all the time. And, again, if you go on to some of the creator channel, you'll see people are really interested in helping each other learn more about this and do better. So join those Facebook groups, join different email lists for people who are working on YouTube and building a following there. And you'll get a lot of support and learn a lot about video hardware and software and things like that. So that's a big question for today, right? What's the purpose of your video content? Why are you doing it? So really think about this. I think for every channel, we want to have this, our mission, our vision, our core values, and then that's going to drive the purpose of what we're doing. And every platform might be a little bit different. And so are you there to educate, entertain, engage? What kinds of videos do you want to create? And the cool thing is, if you don't want to be the talking head on the screen, you don't have to. You can do all sorts of video content that isn't your face. It could be someone else's face, but it could also be screen shares. It could be product demos. You could be interviewing somebody else. You could be giving somebody a tour of your location. So don't forget the power of voiceover. Right? You could be going live and sharing something that's happening at an event. You could be collecting testimonials from your customers. So there's all sorts of different ways to use this type of channel. And it really comes down to, how do you want to use it? How are you leveraging the resources and manpower you have to the best of your ability? And remember, you want to outline, you do your keyword research, you come up with really strong purpose behind what you're doing. I love to create monthly themes for social media topics, as well as website content topics. So that way we can outline our topics and goals in advance and start producing content for a whole month around a similar topic conversation. And that makes all of our content so much more cohesive when we do that, right? We really professional when what's happening on all of our channels and our blog and our email newsletter is all united with the same sort of keyword focus. That's just a consistency that a lot of the algorithms really will reward you for. So think about how you can create those in advance and have kind of a system, right, for creating one video a month, or doing one live stream a month, or doing 2 videos every month. How can you really make something that is going to be able to be posted on a regular basis? Because we know that's going to be a powerful way to stimulate the algorithms. And even though you're going to be using keywords, we don't want to forget about the brand. We want to remember that we need to bring our uniqueness to the table, our creativity to the table, tell people why we're different. And we really want to share our story of our brand as we also maybe promote products and services and events. So again, no matter where you're at, I think any schedule works. So if it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, I say just pick something that feels right to you with the manpower and resources that you have. And if you're new, if you're one of the people in the poll that had not ever used YouTube before, then I just want to encourage you, take a month to 3 months to have some fun. Right. And to think about, why you want to be there and what gets you really excited when it comes to this particular platform. And again, as you create a content calendar, you can unify your calendar to include all your different channels so that you know when you're posting video, not just to YouTube, but to a number of different places. And campaign mindsets, this is what the monthly theme kind of helps us put together, is really what is our goals, really, what are we promoting? What do we want people to do with the information? So I'm always thinking about, is it a topic? Is it a product? Is it a service? What is it that we're campaigning for that month? And so that allows us to kind of, again, have this real consistency. And sometimes campaigns are 3 months or 6 months, so you can't extend them. And Sarah, I see your comment. When we have a blogger or TV station visit and they share video with us and we post, does that help us? And how long should the videos be? So do you mean that the blogger or TV station, they give you the video and then you post it to your channel, correct? Like they actually give you the MP4 or they give you the MOV file. Great. So if they've given you the file, yes. I mean, it's going to help you to just add fresh content. Right? So anytime that they're willing to do that, that's great. And then you can share the content and it drives people back to your YouTube channel. If the TV station just gives you a YouTube link, you can share it and promote it, but now you're driving people to their YouTube channel, right? So getting that video means you now have the power to upload it to YouTube, upload it to your own Facebook, upload it to your own Instagram, onto IGTV. And there's really no length specifications. The truth is, what is the topic? What is the goal of the video? And that dictates how long or short it should be, right? Certain audiences, certain topics require short and to the point. Some audiences and topics require more involved content. So there's no right or wrong. It's all content is valuable as long as it's engaging and people are watching it and commenting on it and sharing it, and the link is getting put out into the world, right? So it's about engagement, not length, and that's what we really want to prioritize. So again, pro tips, be in the now. YouTube is also, like I said, brought live streaming to everybody, just like Facebook and Instagram. And so consider how those types of content can be powerful for you, right? And now there's shorts, there's stories, there's all these different things on YouTube. Now, something like stories, you have to have 10,000 subscribers to use it. So you're not going to be able to get there right away. But any of the tools that they're giving you, like live streaming, you want to verify your account and think about how you can be in the moment, as well as creating more professional edited content that might be more evergreen. Right. And again, with live streams, you can set up regularly scheduled live streams. So maybe you do it once a month and then you invite people across all your channels to watch your YouTube live stream. There's even some great tools out there to basically connect a YouTube live stream to something like Facebook. So you can go live on both. And so that's something really just to think about. How does live play into your strategy, as well as content that you pre-record? And then, like I said, you've got these amazing analytics for free. So don't miss your chance to really look at the data, set that into your workflow, whether it's once a month or once a quarter. Look at which videos are doing well, respond to comments every week if you can, and tell people how much you appreciate it, because they're really helping you boost your engagement. and really try to learn from what's working versus not, and then keep kind of going in that direction, right? So if you can see certain topics do better, certain lengths of video do better, then consider going more in that direction. So I've put in some information about how you can verify your account. And Peach, your question about having some limitations on your business channel might be because you've never verified. So this is something to look into. It doesn't take very long, but it opens up these abilities inside of your account. So you can upload videos longer than 15 minutes, add custom thumbnails, live stream, and if somebody is stealing your content or things like that, you have more intellectual property ability to communicate with YouTube. So these things definitely are unlocked once you verify your channel as sort of a professional business account through a verification code. And again, I'm not sure that that affects your ability to edit the settings, but it might be related. And then I've put in some great resources for live streaming so that you can just click and go in and learn more about live streaming and the Creator Studio tools, just sort of digging into that. And then, of course, like I said, once you get to 10,000 subscribers, you'll be able to use the stories feature, which is very similar to TikTok stories, Snapchat stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, very similar tool. And then YouTube, when you upload your videos, they have some calls to action. They're called YouTube cards and end screens. And these are little pop-ups that'll happen on your video that can prompt people to subscribe to your channel or prompt them to watch another video that you have in your playlist. So definitely utilize these so that when people get to the end of your video, they actually have something that you've prompted them to do to keep them on your channel. So again, I've just included some screenshots. This is the special features area where once you verify, certain things become enabled. So you can see how certain things turn on. And again, if you were going to monetize your channel, which is try to make money over time, you have to meet certain requirements. And so you would go in and actually see if you were eligible to enable that. Also, YouTube has advertising. And Peach, I see that question. If you want to stay till the end, we'll take a look at the settings in just a moment and see if we can figure out what's going on with those of you who want to change the name or confirm some things. So YouTube has a number of different ads that you can do. This is something David Gwaltney, who's going to be in our class at the end of the month, is an expert on. But there's a lot of different types of YouTube ads that you can create. And so if you're interested in advertising, we didn't have time in an hour to cover this, but I wanted to give you access to a great YouTube advertising guide and some information about putting together a budget for that. You do have to have a Google Ads account. So you do have to learn Google Ads in order to run YouTube ads, but there is a lot of value. I see a lot of success coming from YouTube ads for people, even more than I do from the text ads sometimes. So if you're having problems with text ads or you want to innovate, if you're just more interested in videos, I think YouTube advertising has a lot of positives and perks to it. So again, I want to invite everybody in the next week until March 11th. You can get our early bird price. We've really announced that only to people who come to our webinars and our list. So $49, you can join David and I next the last weekend of March on the 31st. Of course, we also have a number of free webinars coming up. As usual, the first Wednesday of every month, we're going to be talking about Google Grants on April 6th, and we'll have a class about that at the end of the month. So feel free to click these links in the slide deck when you download it. But I know we are at the top of the hour, so if there's any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or to put them in the Q&A, and I'm glad to answer them. But I want to make sure everybody can get back to work on time. And I just want to say thank you all so much for being here today. I'm going to put the link to get tickets to our class into the chat for anybody who needs it. So you can take that on the way. It's up on Eventbrite now, and the tickets are live. And thanks so much for the positive comments, everyone. I'm really glad that this was helpful for everyone. And always don't hesitate to reach out to me if you ever have questions. I'm glad to always answer questions if I can, provide resources. And so my email is in the chat as well. Great to see you all. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my YouTube channel, and we are going to take a look at the settings and verification for, I think, Sarah and Peach, who wanted to know about this. So let's go ahead. For those of you who want to stay for a really quick extra few minutes, we'll add this in. And Sumaya, I see your question. As I'm pulling this up, I might talk about this for a minute. So how can I research what video content is relevant to my specific audience? So the first thing I'm going to say is the keyword research tools is my first place to go. And then a lot of times, just like Instagram, I'm going to be looking at what's going on with my competition. Once I have a list of keywords that I think apply to my audiences, I'm going to start plugging them into YouTube and really actually looking at who's creating that type of content already, right? And what are their channels like? And what do the people seem like who are engaging with that content? So it's a pretty manual system right now for me personally, because I am just that type of person when I do research. I'm sure there's tools that can scrape a lot of this information, but I'm really spending, a solid 8 hours maybe for each project, just digging into keyword research and then looking at the competition. Sometimes I use the Moz.com link explorer tool to identify competing websites for those topics that I think apply to my audiences. And then I'm looking to see if they have YouTube channels so that I can, dig in a little bit to that. So I hope that helps kind of explain where I go. If you want to talk directly to the people that you're trying to reach, I would say polls on social media, doing a survey monkey to your email list. All of that can really help you understand what in particular your audience actually needs and wants. So sometimes I just start those conversations on social media to find out what kind of content it is that they are looking for or think that I'm missing or things like that. So hopefully those of you who are still here can see that I am on my YouTube channel. And when I go up into the upper right, I have this little icon, which is my logo. So this is our JB Media Institute channel. And you can see when I do the drop down, I have a number of options, and I want to go into the YouTube studio. When I go into the YouTube studio, it's going to take me into a variety of settings here, right? And so thanks, Sumaya. I'm glad that was helpful. If you have any other questions, you have my email, so reach out. But you'll see down here on the left-hand side, there's a number of different options, and then there's a setting options at the bottom. So what I'm going to look for is the channel information. So here you can see are some tags for keywords that can help you identify what your channel is about. And then when I'm in here in channel, I see feature eligibility. And so if I click here, these are my default features. And then here are my verification features. So Peach, the first place I would go is settings and channel and look under feature eligibility. If you have not already verified your channel, then this should give you a prompt right here to do that. So if you want to check that while we're online, feel free to go ahead and let me know what you see there. And I'm looking to see if we can find the name and the URL of the channel, which I thought used to be in here. Okay, so they're not in this general area. And I see we've got a question in the chat. All right, great. So yeah, so there's the limit right there, right? You need to get 100 subscribers to customize the URL. So thanks for that, Bridget. I was going to say, I thought they had that rule, but they've changed it so many times. I didn't want to say it till I could confirm. So yeah, so if you're seeing that, then the best thing you can do is really ask as many of your friends and people around you that support you to go ahead. And Peach, I'm seeing that when you're in the settings, you only have, let's see, when you go to channel, you don't have advanced settings or feature eligibility. You just have, or is it under feature eligibility? You have default or standard, intermediate, and advanced. Right, so there's nothing there. If you go into the, let me look at those options again. Sorry, the chat keeps popping up a little bit there. So when you click on standard, intermediate, or advanced, there's no prompt to basically verify the channel. Can you confirm that? Because you see how I dropped down here. I would assume the prompts were in here, but maybe not. Yeah, so now you're seeing that verify phone number under intermediate. That's what you want to go after. That's what you're looking for, right? Is basically that you want to be able to verify the actual account, and then it's going to unlock all these other options. And so again, just to clarify, the answer to the questions were you have to have 100 subscribers if you want to customize your URL to have your company name. So that's a limit that you have to cross over. I don't think that counts for the verification. So I don't think we had to be over 100 subscribers to verify. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's changed, but I think you can verify either way. And that's going to be under settings and then channel. And then what you're looking for is this section, feature eligibility. And when you use one of these drop downs, you should be able to get a prompt to verify by phone. Now, the last place I'm going to check is if we go up here to your channel. I just want to see if they give us the ability to edit. You can see the about section here. We've got some information. And then we have this customized channel option. When I click that, this is where I have the ability to actually, have a featured video spotlight. I can feature a video for returning subscribers. I can add in my branding, right? So the different things that I want on the channel to make it match the brand overall. And then I have basic info, and this is where I can change the channel name. So Peach, if you need to change the name of the channel, that is separate from the URL, the custom URL, I'm pretty sure. So you should be able to go in. And again, that's from going up here to your channel. And then when you get there, you're basically going to click customize channel. And then you're going to go into the basic info and use that edit icon. So I think that answers everyone's questions. Feel free again to let me know if there's anything else that you need support on. You can always reach out to me. I hope I'll see some of you at our live online class on March 31st. But again, thank you all so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.